Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of Pac-12 Chalk Talk, your source for everything Pac-12 sports. I'm your host, Austin Controls, and in studio tonight we have our panel from left to right, Nick Merrick, Mariah Baker, and Robbie Baker. Let's get right into it and talk about the best basketball game from the Pac-12 this past week between Arizona and Washington State. The Wildcats barely pulled out this win in Pullman, winning 76-72. And guys, these teams are going in opposite directions. With this game, the Wildcats have won 5 straight, and the Cougars have lost 5 of their last 7. Nick, we'll start with you. What do you think is the biggest thing viewers should have taken away from this game?
Austin, the angle I'm going with is the same player we've been saying all season long, and that's Brock Modem. He put up 28 points. That's 11 more than his season average, guys. And when you look at it on the free throw standpoint, I realize he did miss his last 6 attempts, but he still had 18 attempts on the game. The Wildcats only made 15 free throws. That's quite a workhorse down low in the paint, and that's what Brock Modem's been doing all season long, keeping his team in the game. And though the Cougars are buried in the bottom half of the Pac-12, he's certainly going to be a legitimate player of the year contender in the Pac-12.
And you know what, Nick? I am going to take a slightly different angle here. I'm going to talk about Brendan Lavender. He scored 17 points in this game, leading the Cougars to the victory here. My only problem with him is that he has an average season scoring total of 5 points. He can't get it done from the hardwood, but this game he shot 5 from 7 from the arc, and I think he can get it done if he can lead these Cougars.
Yeah, and the angle that I took out of this game was U of A's implications for March Madness in the big dance time. If they want to have their dancing shoes come mid-March, they're going to have to string together more wins down the stretch. Austin, you mentioned that they've won 5 straight, but in my opinion, unless they get to the Pac-12 championship game, they don't have to win it, but they have to get to it in the Pac-12 tournament. That will solidify their spot in the big dance. Otherwise, Washington is a 500 team. You got to blow those games out. They can't be close. I think U of A will get into the tournament, but they're going to have to get to that Pac-12 championship game to do so.
One thing I want to piggyback off of Mariah's comment on Lavender, he did end up scoring big, was the leading scorer for the Wildcats, but he had 5 other players that had 8 or more points. Modem only had 1 for the Cougars.
Tony Roden from the Washington Huskies has had some pretty nasty dunks over the past couple weeks, and they've both come against Arizona schools. This one here is against ASU, and you have to feel sorry for Sun Devil Jonathan Gilling because his face could end up on multiple posters after this dunk. The other dunk is against U of A. You'll see it here. Now it's a breakaway against U of A. And despite this one, guys, I have to say my personal favorite has to be the one against ASU. Mariah, which one do you like better?
You know what, Austin? I am agreeing with you here. The ASU one was just nasty. I have to give credit against Chol going over a 6'9", 270-pound man. He's built like a house, left-handed. That was a strong dunk, but against ASU, he drives straight down the lane, 5 jerseys, right over top, draws the foul, makes it a 3-point play. I have to go with that one.
See, for what you just said, the reason the U of A dunk was so good, that's why I think that was the better dunk. He went coast to coast, which is hard to do without even dunking it at the other end. Just getting coast to coast in a college basketball game is very hard to do. He went coast to coast, dunked over a huge defender, and threw it down, jumping almost away from the hoop with his offhand. It was fantastic.
Well, I guess at 1 apiece for ASU and U of A on the dunks. I'm the tiebreaker, and Robbie, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going with the dunk against U of A just because of what exactly you said. Going coast to coast for a guard is something that's very difficult to do. Nonetheless, getting around all the U of A defenders after he completely undressed them and did a fantastic job of that. But one other additional note is that he's sacrificing his body. People don't realize what it takes to jump and go over a 6'9" guy and stuff it with one hand. Well done, number 14. Well done.
Once again, it's time for our panelist player of the week. There were a lot of star players from this past week, so I'm sure it was a tough decision. Robbie, who stood out to you?
Well, E.J. Singler stood out to me, Austin. You look at his stats for the week, 28 points, 11 rebounds. That's not great, but 20 of those points came against the Stanford Cardinal on the road. And in that victory, E.J. Singler was really the man for the Ducks. And if it wasn't for E.J. Singler, they would not have got that upset win over the Stanford Cardinal.
And Robbie, I'm going to actually go with the Cal redshirt sophomore, Justin Cobb. He put up 28 points at a career high against Oregon, ended up at the stat line, 38 points, 21 assists, and the stat that I love in college basketball is only 3 turnovers. So 21-3 assist-to-turnover ratio is phenomenal basketball, and it's going to be crucial for the Cal Golden Bears as they're trying to make a run and win that Pac-12 championship game when they have 3 games to end the season on the road.
And you know what? My player went to Chasen Randall. The Ducks, EJ Singler, they did a great job holding him to only 7 points there, but he takes his talent down to Oregon State. He racks up a season high, 24 points there. He did what he was supposed to do. I believe that's player of the week for me.
Guys, some big games coming up this weekend in the Pac-12, so we're going to take a look at our basketball preview. On Thursday, you have Cal traveling to Utah, and then on Saturday, UCLA, it's going to be a big game. It's going to travel down and take down Arizona, and then a big rivalry. Washington's going to travel to Pullman to take on Washington State. Switching gears, we're going to move into a new sport here on Chalk Talk, and in my opinion, guys, it's the best time of the year, and that's because baseball has started. So get out your baseball caps, sunflower seeds, and maybe even a #1 foam finger. I'm actually just really overly excited about this right now. I'm going to calm down, and you guys are going to tell me your player to watch in the Pac-12 this season. Nick, we'll start with you.
Austin, my top player is going to be Stanford right-handed pitcher Mark Appel. He's listed on nearly every single mock draft as the #1 projected player to go in the draft in June. So just the phenomenal stats he's done. He's almost a strikeout per inning pitcher. And honestly, when you look at it, he has all these accolades. He played for Team USA in Cary, North Carolina, was listed as their #1 prospect, then played in the Cape Cod League and was #2 prospect by them. But I'm going to stick with the pitcher. Trevor Bauer won it last year. I think Appel is going to be the player to watch this year.
And my player to watch is going to go with the hype of the coaches and everybody else. They're talking about Stanford and Stephen Piscotty. He's got a lot to live up to. Last year as a sophomore, he was All-America, third baseman, Pac-10 team. He did what he was supposed to do. He had a team-high batting average of .364. He's a strong player on that diamond, an infield utility player. He's going to lead Stanford. He's going to be an interesting raw talent to watch.
Yeah, I wish I would have taken your guy just so I could have said Piscotty, but I get to say it anyways because I did this there. But I went with Joey DeMichael out of Arizona State. He's a junior infielder. Last year, he led the Pac-10 with a .368 batting average, also a .663 slugging percentage. He led the Arizona State Sun Devils with 9 home runs and a 51 RBIs. Just in these 6 postseason games the Sun Devils had, he had 12 RBIs just in those 6 games. He had a monster year, a breakout year for the Sun Devils last year, and he will be a key Sun Devil if ASU has any chances of making noise in the Pac-12 this year.
The Pac-12 is one of the best baseball conferences, if not the best, in the NCAA. And I think it was proven right there as no one took Tony Renda, the former Pac-10 Player of the Year from last year. Arizona, ASU, Stanford, and UCLA are all ranked in the top 25 to start the year. So, guys, who do you think is the favorite in the Pac-12? Mariah, we're going to go with you.
All right, and I don't believe in living up to the hype. Stanford has got a lot of chatter around them. Unfortunately, after thinking about it, I have to go against it. I'm going to go with Oregon State. A little bit of a surprise here for me. What I like about Oregon State is their new guys are ready to show and prove that they can hold this team. Oregon State did lose a lot of key players last season. If they can pull out their raw talent from their youngsters, their sophomores, their freshman pitcher on the mound, if they can do that, I think they can surge their way to the top.
Yeah, I'm buying the hype, Mariah. I got the Stanford Cardinals as the favorite to win the Pac-12 this year. A lot of these players, at least 3 or 4 on many award watch lists. Many of them are going to be high draft picks, like you guys mentioned before with your players to watch. This team finished 5th last year in the Pac-10 at the time. That's not going to happen this year. There's no one should sleep on this Stanford Cardinal team. They don't have Andrew Luck on the football field, but on the baseball diamond, they don't have any problems.
You know, I already went against Mariah on the basketball, and I'm going to go again against her on football. Sorry, Mariah, but I have to ride the bandwagon, so to speak. They are the #1 team in the Pac-12, and they're there for a reason. With all the talent they have, 3 guys projected to go in the top 25 picks in the June draft. We mentioned Piscotty and Appel. The other guy is Kenny Dykroger, the middle infielder, who's absolutely phenomenal and had one heck of a season last year to cap it off. But when you look at it, between the SEC and Pac-12, there is a lot of competition there of who's the best conference. I do like Stanford a lot and leading this team, and certainly when you're looking at it, they have potential to make a big run for the Pac-12.
Interesting to note that none of our panelists took the California Golden Bears, who made it to the College World Series last year. We have come to the end of another episode of Pac-12 Chalk Talk. To stay connected with the Pac-12, be sure to follow Chalk Talk on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe right here on YouTube. For Nick Merrick, Robbie Baker, and Mariah Baker, I'm Austin Controlis, and we'll see you next week.